doing question to Mr. Ankit to know more about our partner and the owner of IS Vilan. Please, Kyla, share the screen if you would like to. All right, once again, mornings. This is the All Hands on January 31st, 2023, hosted by me. All right, welcome once again, Mr. Ankit. Please go to the right. Yes, please. Okay, here is Mr. Ankit. He's the owner of Ion Villas, and I would like to introduce him more based on the experience that I found, his experience that I found on LinkedIn. Maybe it could be different, and Mr. Ankit will explain more, but here is what I found about him, okay? He is one of the best in the game, I believe, from what I see on the experience. He was the sales executive in the Obere Group for 8 years, and then he became the director of sales in the Postcard Hotel, and then cruise director, head of sales marketing in the Antara Luxury River, and I believe the past one is sales director in travel and hospitality representation services. To start my question to you, Mr. Ankit, this is what I found in LinkedIn, but for to initiate some question, what do you want to be known by the world actually, sir?
First of all, a very good morning to all of you, and it's a lovely feeling that when you want to start something, you have just the right backgrounds, the right feeling around, and I think uh, Bali is quite fulfilling in that kind of space. So I just love being here. So that's one of the best things that could have happened to me. Secondly, for any career, my friend, and to everybody on this chat, your career needs to be very fulfilling, at the same time fun-filling. So it needs to be a combination of both. If you don't have the fun factor, you can't have the fulfill. If you have the fulfill and don't have the fun factor, there's no why are you living this life, right? So I would just to answer that question in one sentence, I would say that my career has been quite fun-filling and fulfilling. It has been a great journey, and believe you me, uh, every bit of this journey has been like giving me something which has not been expected. It has been full of adventures, full of I would say uh, a roller coaster at the same time. So
Yeah.
just giving you a sneak peek of how I actually landed up into hotels, and I won't take much of your time, but it is by fluke. You know, if people prepare after their plus two that what we need to do in life. I had I had no clue really, and I don't mince my words. The only thing I knew that I was good in doing something for the community. Like I wanted to be with people around. So that was the only thing that I knew when I was passing my plus two. And I'm a Delhiite for everybody to know, hardcore Indian, but stayed in Bombay and Delhi and worked in many parts of the world as well. I worked in Dubai, I worked in Singapore, I worked in uh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. So yeah, a lot. It's a combination of many cultures and things like that, which gets the best out of you in a human being. So Oberoi happened. It was like one day one of my schoolmates, he was going for an interview at the Oberoi. I had no clue. I just knew that Oberoi was a brand where Michael Jackson stayed in 1996 when he was in Bombay. That was the only thing I knew about it. And so I just said, okay, I look okay. I just got a nice shirt in, got a nice tie, because that's what the whole interview thing should have been. And I just saw my friend, he's in a shirt and a jeans. I thought maybe I am wrongly dressed. But the only thing that actually I think got me that job was this the attire and the grooming standard that I was in. The rest is all history. I started my career. I'm a gold medalist from the Oberoi School of Learning and Development, which is one of the most prestigious schools when it comes to hospitality, because it's also affiliated to the Lee Cordon Bleu in Sydney and other parts of Switzerland. So it's when we say hospitality, this is one of the best schools, and I am so grateful to God that I have been a part of this school. And I started my career in operations, of course. I started actually as a chef. So I worked
Oh,
in kitchens for 4 years, and then I had a minor problem with my back. So, and that time, Oberoi Hotels was looking at doing something with the sales and management program. So sales and management was always something was that I was intrigued with. That okay, and I was like, these slang that we use, a guinea pig. So they put me into a trial and error program on the job, and that's how I moved to sales. And I moved. So I started my career in 2006. 2006 to 2009, I was studying in a program by the name of STEP, which is an undergraduate program. From 2009 to 2011, I have done my master's, that is the Oberoi School of Learning and Development. 2011, I started my career with sales and marketing. And of course, there were many stages. I became an assistant manager, sales manager, regional sales manager before I actually took the director of sales position at Postcard. Postcard was also a different wording, I would say, because at the end of the day, there was nothing by the name of boutique hotels that prevailed in this entire scenario or the genre of hotels was still those cookie cutter style of hotels, and doing great restaurants, beautification, beautiful hardware, and great software too. But the genre hotels in the last decade or so has been changing towards more service orientation than actually being only the hardware. So hardware anybody can make. A cookie cutter style anybody can make. Somebody has the money, we can all make it in a day. That's but that service, that metal, which makes the whole was the ideology behind postcard hotels. Thus, I took up that job. I worked there for about 2.5 years. Then I worked for a company by the name of Resplendent Ceylon. If you Google, they have one of the most, again, the same genre of hotels in Sri Lanka. They're also the owner of Dilma Tea, and and they're also, in fact, I was working on a brand which was now known as Rivera. If you Google, they've just started on these boutique kind of spacing. And finally, that is also associated to my travel and hospitality, THRS. That was part of that company. And then I said, or when you say that the midlife crisis came into being in your early 30s, you feel okay. This is the time when you need to strike gold or come back to what you are doing best, right? So I just started this brand by the name of Ayan, and of course I have had a great, as I said, it has been a great journey. So had the right people around me to support me, to understand, as well as give me we all individuals need a push for everything that we do. And I think the push at the right time makes you strike gold at the right time. So I'm so grateful that all this has happened in the right time, if that answers your question.
yes. Thank you, sir. I would like to question more. Maybe Kyle, I can.
Please.
Yes, in this 15 years, the hospitality services scene is really exploded, right? Like from the easy access to flight services and the social media obsession towards traveling and holiday. But when you're looking on that timeline, because you've spent about 16 or 17 years in this game right now, what do you see as some of the watershed moment, the highlight and lowlights when you look at that time?
Oh, I actually don't like the negative words. So there is no light in life. We are so pushed towards saying that Corona was a low light. No, we've come out of it so strong, and there's so many things that has made us like. I started a company, right? You guys have maybe multifold learning this process of just talking to a computer. Uh, but at the same time we also have something which is known is our own self motivation. So the highlight and low light is right here, and this is connected to your heart and soul. So I think it's just when you have the lowest time of your day or life, or just listen to one thing that You have a journey to travel, and when you have that journey, and when you have that genre to that attitude, when you say never die attitude, there is nothing in the world which can stop you. It's in I just was talking to some time back, and I would like to tell you I follow this movie, and it's a Bollywood movie. And if you guys get a chance, please, please, please look at it, and you can just get the subtitles in. It's known as Three Idiots. It
Ah, what's
is
that? I
one
watched
of
that.
it's when I say impossible, I always remember that dialogue in that movie. Impossible also says that I am possible,
Yeah.
and
I watched that.
let's that's the only way. Every and you know this is more theoretical, but when I say personally also, we all go through a bad day, right? It can be
Yep.
bad hour, bad day, bad surroundings, rain. Getting wet in the rain is also a bad day, right? But then think about the rain. Is it a good thing that could have happened or a bad thing? So we just need to put that our thoughts in such a way that the low light also turns into a very positive thing. And I think nobody in the world can stop us from doing what we want to do. So yeah, the only thing which pushes us is we ourselves. Nobody else can motivate us. Nobody else can push us. We can read a lot of things. We can read a lot of good things around, and keep motivating ourselves to strike gold or strike bigger. And nobody needs to give you that kind of a pat on the back and saying, "Oh, did a good job." You yourself can do it, right? So why think about anything, any other part of the thing? So that's what I always follow this. And yeah, people who work with me have a tough time, because this kind of energy, this kind of thing always is not taken in a good way, but I try and spread that to everybody around. So
Yes. That's very understandable. See, so it is about how
you
to
smile at the
respond.
world, and the world smiles at you. Just that's the
But sir, I would like to add some question again, if you
please,
don't mind.
please. No,
To be
no,
better
go
in
on.
the, to be better in the industry, we're sometimes living in delusion of relying to the skill that isn't needed and forgetting the core value or our skills that has been a foundation of our lives. But when you're thinking about it, what is the most needed skills that you need to have and the least skills that you need to throw away as you realize that it isn't going to work?
Okay, I'll take it as a hospitality kind of a bagging question. You know, today when we interview somebody for a position or something, it's it's hospitality is one of the industries which do not look at the right hand side of what you have done in your plus two, or what you have done in your masters and things like that. It's pointing at the person or the individual, and the way the person carries himself or herself. So, uh, the the most important skill when any hospitality person should carry is the right kind of attitude. When I say it's important to have an attitude, it's very important to have an attitude. Not exactly a negative attitude, but a very positive attitude towards the world. The never say die attitude. We, we all in our industry
Ya,
specifically,
gimana
it's a
gimana?
combination of three P's. Okay, we are polite,
Yep.
we are persuasive, and the perseverance. So these three P's can actually be the most important skill. You sometimes, being the most calm person at this problematic situation leads you to find a solution. I don't know if you guys follow cricket, but yes, that's an Indian can always give you two sides of a coin. One is cricket, one is Bollywood. So I always follow the game of cricket, and there is a very nice player. In fact, I will give you example of two. You can Google them. One was the ex-Indian captain, which was Saurav Ganguly. He made the Indian team to think with the right attitude. that we can win. And then there was another genre of a captain who came in by the name of Mahinder Singh Dhoni. Mahinder Singh Dhoni was the most calm captain because the right kind of attitude and that vigor for playing for the country was always drilled into the team by the ex-captain Saurav Ganguly. So it's always a teamwork, and we have to have that perseverance to do better every day, do better, and persuasive. So this is one of the most important things that we all have to have when, or the most important skill, you can say, because we are in the hospitality industry is not about no. Let me try, sir. So
Yes.
this is a very. It's not about a no. Nobody takes no for an answer here. That's the most important, and the more it's like both sides of the coin, right?
Yep.
A no can be important sometimes, but the way you provide way you give that no is where that persuasive thing comes into being. So I personally feel, just if you the most important skill is these three P's: be as persuasive as you can be as persistent as you can be, and be as polite as you can be. You'll always be the right fit for this industry. Least skill, I think no skill in this world goes for waste. Even if you are a great cook and you're not in the kitchen, that doesn't mean your wife, your girlfriend, your mother will always be happy because you're a great cook. So I don't think a skill anywhere goes waste. And yeah, so I think the least skill that you can, if you have to put a word to it, I think is that the way of saying no. That's the only thing.
Yep. That's very great. I really like the three pieces that you have for us: the polite, persuasive, and perseverance. But for the last question, sir, to end our
Okay.
meeting with you, uh, we are here as your audience. What would you like to say to us? Like some quotes of the week for us.
Okay. uh, you know, I always used to give this as a closing statement to my team of the day, is that do well, this thing. And because a sales guy, okay, and I always use this line that when you go out there in the market, no, tell the story, because people love listening to stories. And the story that you tell is the story that you sell. So the story is very important, and people love listening to those stories. And be as and I can say that whenever you kind of wish or meet people on calls on this, just follow that. People love listening to those memories or stories, and not necessarily you have to make them up, but yeah,
Yes.
it's good if you can, if that's an art. I think that's also an art. So but most important thing is that tell the story to people, people buy the story. So that's my quote for the week for you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we have time. We're in the end of the meeting with you, sir. We will continue to
Thank
the
you.
other lines. I thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for to coming to our
I it was a pleasure being a part of you, and I hope the energy that we started the morning with, you take it into the week, and just enjoy every bit of what you are doing. And yeah, it's a beautiful world. Let's enjoy it.
yes. Pleasure to have you,
Thank you.
and it is a very
Mm.
great journey that you have, and the story that you tell us is a really amazing things that can be
Thank you.
give
Thank you
us
so much.
insights. Right?
It's humbled. I'm totally humbled for this. I'm totally
Yes.
humbled for this.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, take
I hope
care.
you have a good
Thank you
day.
so much.
You can kindly
Thank
enjoy
you
our
for
meeting.
coming and your time, and kid.
Yes.
Thank you
Pleasure
for
was mine.
coming, Ankit.
Oh, I was missing you.
Yes, I'm over here,
You
Ankit.
just pop up from anywhere, no? You just
No,
have this
I've been
habit
here the
of
whole
popping
time.
across.
I was listening. I was listening. So I was just, I was on. Great. Thank you for joining us, Ankit. And may you
Pleasure,
have
pleasure.
a happy continuance. And that, I think, was fairly inspirational story of your hospitality journey. And we really
Thank you.
want to say thank you for sharing that with the entire Bukit Vista team today. If you don't have your cameras on, please turn on your camera so that Ankit can see you.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the primary first things in hospitality. We want to be as present as possible. Okay, Ankit, we're going to continue with the rest of our all hands, our weekly sync up, but you're free to stay, you're free to go. Up to you, yeah?
I'll just request, Marcel, that whatever we had a conversation, if you could just set me that part, because I would like the team also here to listen, because
Excellent.
they could not have been part of it'll be a really nice conversation for these guys as well.
Perfect. All right.
Guys, Jin and Vayan, see you soon.
Okay.
I like to take your leave right now because just a few things up.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ankit.
Lovely chatting with everybody. Take
See
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Definitely.
Have a nice day.
See you, Aya.
Ankit.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jin. Bye.
Okay, all right, everybody. That's Ankit coming to us from Kokomo. So he's currently the manager of Kokomo. He owns a brand called Iron, and we've been working with Ankit along with the owner Felicia of Kokomo Villas, as you can see in Wayana's background, actually, for I think almost 3 or 4 months now. All right, over to Marcel and Kyla, I guess, as our host and moderator.
Yes, sir. Okay. We have heard once again about the inspirational, amazing story from Mr. Ankit. And for today, we should get some inspirational and amazing story from our CEO itself, Mr. Jing. Please go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Marcel, and thank you very much, Kyla, for today. All right, let's go into it. Let's talk about 2023, the visions for Bukit Vista. So we'll start with bad news first, as always. That kind of tempers a little bit of the mood. So what's our biggest weakness? What are we not good at that I've seen so far? So it's this, I think, for this week. It's accepting abuse from partners and guests. And I'll go into some examples of this and how we need to change this particular direction. So what does abuse look like? Abuse looks like this. It looks like when a guest is threatening. It looks like when a guest is behaving very badly in a way that makes us feel not safe, in a way that makes our teams on site feel unsafe. Now, this is where we have a choice. This is where we can be a hero or we can be a punk. If you're a hero, you stand up for your team, you stand up with courage, and you deal with abusive guests. If you're not, then you pretty much let the entire team down. So this is a complicated situation, and sometimes we can easily miscalculate who is an abusive guest and who is a guest that's just asking us to try a little bit harder. So I'll go through this with everybody in detail so that we can understand what's the difference. Okay, the first step is to remember the core value. Details do matter. So get the facts around a particular guest complaint, and then once we have facts, we can decide whether it's a case of abuse or whether it's just a case of a guest needs us to try harder. The second step, after you get the details, do step on toes. It takes courage, as Ankit said, perseverance to work in hospitality. If we're always giving without any way of defending ourselves or persevering or being persuasive, we lose sight, we lose energy, and that doesn't fulfill our ultimate goals of inspiring delight. Next step, think about how to help others to help themselves. Protect those on your team that can't protect themselves yet, but teach them how to do it. Now, when I mean team, I also extend this gratitude and this protection out to our on-site staff. A lot of them don't have the same education as all of us do. They don't have the same background, and they feel even less capable. They might not even speak English to deal with abusive guests or abusive partners. So in those cases, I think we need to think about how to help others to help themselves. So to drive home this point, let me give a quick demo. How do we actually go about and think about details matter? I think the first thing you guys should all know, since we host so much on Airbnb, is what does Airbnb do for us? Do they actually have protection for us as hosts? And the answer is, of course. This is a community. This is a platform that wants to have trust. So be familiar with what are your rights, what are our rights on a platform. So we are allowed to defend ourselves with weapons even. I thought this was actually really funny. So if a guest attacks you, apparently you can defend yourself with a permitted volley of weapons. But here's what the platform does not allow. The platform doesn't allow threats or abuse. These can be threats, violence, or abuse towards others, including intimate partners, children, animals, ill or disabled people have no place in the community. Sexual assault, misconduct. sexual assault and misconduct of any kind are prohibited. Any unwanted, solicited, touching, flirtatious, or sexual behaviors or conversations in personal relationships or sexual preferences are not acceptable. Dangerous and illegal animals, explosive devices, unsecured, undisclosed weapons, right? So details matter, and understanding these particular protections keep us safe from abusive guests and from abusive partners. Now, you're not the first, and we're not the first to actually have bad guests. We host on the order of a few thousand, I believe 2,000 to 3,000 guests a month. And the majority of them, 99.9% of them, are fine. But do feel, I would say, part of a community when there are abusive guests, and you can go on, let's say, a platform like the Airbnb community and read about certain guests that are abusive, okay? And so that you're more familiar with how to deal with them. Once again, let me also show everybody an example of an abusive guest and an example of a non-abusive guest that just needed a little bit more attention. This is Liam. Liam is, I'm very ashamed to say, one of the worst guests I've actually seen. Liam came in, and midway through his stay, he complained about a dent on his laptop. This is not a laptop being destroyed. This is a dent on his laptop. He then accused the cleaning staff at Astori Village that this was their fault, and he insisted on it. And then he proceeded to threaten us by leaving negative reviews all over the world, and then he proceeded with an insurance claim. Now, whether or not Liam had a legitimate claim there is a different matter, but does he have the right to threaten, to abuse, to confront the staff, to do all the things that he said he would do? And the answer is no. Nobody has the right to do that. Not over $2,000, not over $20, not over anything. This is a guest that should have been kicked out immediately for the kind of abusive language that he was giving and been transferred to a different property and been reported to Airbnb. But somehow the entire team tolerated him until the very end, and we're still dealing with his abusive behavior. This kind of person would get kicked off of Airbnb, and we need to know how to protect ourselves from this type of abusive guest. That's Liam. Now, there are other guests that just need a little bit more attention. This is Sarah. Sarah booked a stay at Villa Belle Isle. She's pregnant, or no, she just had surgery. She has, I think, an infant, and she was complaining because her driveway was being built, and that was taking her too far to walk from the car to actually the property. Now, was Sarah abusive? No. She was asking for attention. She was asking for us to stay professional, and she did not accuse or do anything that was impolite. She acted in her boundaries as a guest. Was she upset? Yes. Did she express that she was upset? Yes. Did we fix the problem with her? Yes. Okay. So here's the thing I want you guys all to walk away with. All right. We deal with this a lot, and we see partners that don't honor contracts. We see guests that abuse us, and we generally take it. Let me just ask everyone today, from today on, don't take it anymore. All right. Report it, escalate it. If you're not sure whether it's one way or the other, if you feel like you're being threatened, if you feel like this is unsafe, if you feel like a partner is taking advantage, if you feel like you're having to do work because you have to clean up somebody else's mess, then don't take it anymore. Please start confronting it. Be the hero. Escalate. If you're not sure, escalate to your supervisors. If your supervisors aren't taking care of it, report to me. I'll make sure that your supervisors do take care of it, okay? Because this really needs to stop in order for everybody, everywhere, every time to be delighted, okay? All right, so this is our biggest weakness. Let's move away from this. Let's start defending ourselves. Let's having some self-confidence, some self-respect, and not take abuse like this anymore from any guest or partner, or from any colleague. If there's any situations where a colleague is being abusive, please report that to HR. You guys all know Shaylan. She's the person to go to for those type of ideas. I have not heard of that yet in the company, but once again, I want everyone in Bukit Vista to feel safe. I want guests to feel safe. I want partners to feel safe. And most of all, I want all my team here to feel safe. Okay? All right. So that's our weakness, and I need everyone's cooperation in order for this to improve. Once we have that, I think we can all go and do amazing things together. All right. Next, once again, it comes back to the mission. So some of you are new here. Some of you are starting your trials here. So let's talk about this, right? What we do every day when we get here to this room, to these meetings, to our operations is to inspire delight through hospitality, innovations, and policy transform our guests, partners, and employees. If you're new to Bukit Vista, then welcome. We hope that your next few days in your trial process will be a positively transformative process. Now, let's talk about the Insight dashboards, which I'm very, very happy to say are getting remarkably better. And this is how remarkable it is. So let's take a look at each insight and see how we're doing. Check-ins. Last week, check-ins at 80.3%. This week, check-ins 81%. So almost 0.7, almost a full percentage point improvement in check-ins. Congratulations for those of you who are working in the field and operations to improve our guest check-in experience. Next, communication. Last week, 75.8 on communication. This week, it went a little down. Oh, wait, sorry. What am I talking about? Last week, 75.8. This week, we're at 76.8. So it went up a full percentage point on communication. We're getting better at communicating to our guests. Last week, accuracy at 73%. This week, accuracy 73.6%. Last week, location 72.2%. This week, location is at 71.4%. So that metric went and fell a little bit. Last week, the value was at 68.6%. This week, almost 70%, almost past the SLA, 69.2% on value. Last week, cleanliness at 64%. This week, cleanliness 65.2, continuing rising. Congratulations, everybody who've been working in the community on inspections and operations to boost our cleanliness ratings. This is quite an achievement. We've been going all the way up now. Now, overall ratings. Overall quality, last week, 68.2 and 4.49. And this week, we finally broke through on one of our metrics, especially on the overall rating, finally above the SLA at 4.5. Okay, so congratulations. The other metric, 5-star reviews, is 69.2. It's very close to 70%. We're almost going to achieve all 3 of our targets by March. I hope we can do it. I hope we can pay out lots of bonuses. I hope that will motivate us to be a world-class brand. Okay, let's take a look at new policy. So the old HOO was done only in operations, but now there's more leadership across DPL and also in content. So new employees will work in ops in either DPL, guest ops, or content for their first 3 weeks as part of their orientation. Pricing parity, we already know this. All prices are the same everywhere to the guests. We're working hard to enforce that. Quality control. Failed inspections will be announced to partners and guests. Guests will have the option to relocate, refund, or be rewarded for the lack of quality. And once again, this is the $2 million bonus, version 3. So we're talking about 3x individual bonuses if a company achieves a 2.1 million sales target from September 5th to March 5th, 2023. Qualified interns get the 3 million bonus. Here's the goal. All right, we're looking to achieve 2.1 million, an overall rating above 4.5, and a 5-star percentage above 70%, at 70%. So if we reach all 3 goals, you get your bonus multiplied by 4x. If we reach 2 goals, we pay 3x the bonuses, and if we reach 1 goal, we'll pay 2x individual bonuses. Now, everyone contributes differently to the overall program. So the bonuses, of course, will not be full or what, depending upon, it will depend on how much you've contributed and how much we can see. We'll take the inspection and this particular contribution very seriously because we want the right people to get the bonuses. All right. Next, the interns receive the bonuses according to these particular goals, which we're getting closer to as well. And then the final statement is, how close are we? We've already seen this before. We're very close to achieving both quality metrics, 69.2 and 4.51. And for the overall revenue, also fairly close, 1.7 million out of 2.1 million. All right, so let's talk about our brand. What does our brand look like from the last 10 reviews? Daniel gave us 5 stars, said he enjoyed his stay. Danielle, again, gave us 5 stars, wrote in Russian. I can't read Russian, but hopefully that's a good thing. Demiante wrote, gave us 5 stars, said it was a great place to stay. Safisa gave us 5 stars, said thank you. Everything is fast and clear, very responsive. We got 3 stars from Anya. Todd gave us 5 stars. Badr gave us 5 stars. Sid gave us 5 stars. Sophie gave it 3 stars, said good and clean, but not for digital nomads who want to work from home. Wi-Fi is unstable. Darlene gave us 5 stars and said Kokomo villas are so pretty. Everything has been put together really well. I wish Ankit could have been there to hear that review. All right. Now, once again, most users do experience Bukit Vista through our operations. And to repeat the theme of this month, perhaps the next month, good strategy listens deeply to operations. Good products listen deeply to operations. And good content listens deeply to operations. So when we listen deeply, what do? We can build a world-class brand. And that happens when our guests feel inspired and lighted. when our partners feel inspired, delighted, and we feel inspired and delighted. And with that, let me turn it back over to Kyla and Marcel.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jane, for the vision and inspiration. And next one, we're going to start with with the weekly mission inspiration. So I hope you guys can see my screen now. First, open to Katendi.
Okay, thank you, Kayla. Good morning, everyone. So first, weekly inspiration from the guest that positively transformed is last week, GS team and host team work closely to handle some of the guest complaint, and then most of them is on success. So yeah, there are some guests that complain, and then I also attach what is the common guest complaint in hotel, or I think this is also same like in villa or guest house, like the poor customer service, dirty room, low food quality, foul smell, unfriendly staff, malfunction or damaged electronics, and shortage and complementary stuff. So yeah, how to deal with the angry guest is first apologize, and then care to listen, avoid the argument, remain calm and be polite. What like Ankit said, be polite. Make sure your body language is not aggressive. Empathize and acknowledge their frustration. Never pass on the guest in another department. Comfort with best offering. Avoid taking things personally. Come up with a conclusion. Follow up and thank to the guest for bringing this matter to the light and take feedback. Okay, that's and then also I attach some of the success case on the handle guest complaint. So this in the Puri Kelapa, the guest is complaining about the Wi-Fi, and then the manager called me that if the guest is not happy with Wi-Fi, she can check out. But actually, that's not the main thing. So the guest need attention. So the guest need working, and then yeah, I just video call the guest, and then just quick, I buy the SIM card for the guest for the XL provider, and then they get the high speed Wi-Fi, and then that's it, finished. So that's the solution. So today the guest can work again, and then I just message her, and then everything's well. And then the next one. This is Niklas in Puri Kelapa as well. He complained about the mold in the room, and then also the door cannot close properly. And then I went there and then negotiate with the guests, give the alternative room for a few days, and promise that we will fix in a few days. And then we fixing, and then the guest, I meet the guest again, and then show the room, and then the guest is happy. The guest already get back to the room, and then yeah, it's happy again. Then next, Kayla. And yeah, this is on Tegas Asri. There are renovation on the on the property, and the sound is very loud. Yeah, but yeah, I meet the guest and then discuss with Mr. Jing as well. We give compensation for the motorbike, so the guests can go outside during the construction. And then after they get back to the home, and then it's already silent, and then they can like just take a rest and then enjoy the property. And then I think the last things, this is one of our speaker last week, Anna. So yeah, I'll meet Anna on Pilakama and then discover about the construction, give the information, also offer some place to visit during the day, so Anna cannot feel there, and then some place for the co-working, and then yeah, until now the Anna didn't check out, and then still happy with the Pilakama. So most of the guests that on that picture, they was cancel for the checkout, and then they just stay until the rest of the stay. Thank you. Back to Kayla.
Okay, thank you, Katendi. Actually, there's a lot of great things that deserve to be published more than inside the company. So let's go back. Let's do it for the PR later on. And next up for Kashelin, this is for the employee side.
Okay, thank you, Kala. So this is actually like deploying ARM with a tight timeline. So this announcement, it was announced on like 25th of Jan for the MBKM batch 4 selection. And we actually got a deadline, like the students can only apply up until the 27th. So it was pretty tight, like with the deadlines and stuff. So there's no way that we could basically proceed with the usual flow. This is where we adapt and improvise with ARM. So yeah, itu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Shalin. Hopefully, we'll be able to progress with what we have for now with the pipeline. And next up, there's our two announcements from Mas Bayu from the technology side. Over to Mas Bayu.
Okay, thank you, Kaila. This week's technology innovation is basically the first one is the Butler app on Slack. So we are making interface with documents and submitting form easy during field work. So basically, this could be implemented to almost everything we usually do, like Google Form, Trello, etc., into Slack. Basically, we can do this directly on Slack. This is what we have been doing with teams at quality control, especially GES and PM team has been using this tool for almost 2 weeks now to reduce the time to update their work results. So they just need to open their mobile app on Slack, mobile app. No need to open laptop, computer, everything. This has been contributing to reducing time to think about schedule. No need to think about schedule. Reducing time to update the report. Reducing time to arrange synchronous discussion about specific case because everything is on Slack already. Increasing the understanding about what to inspect on each property because the Slack app already have checklists. So they just need to follow the checklist. And increasing visibility for of property quality to HAR team because it's on Slack. HAR team can understand the situation of the property in real time. And the best of all is inspection result is now a data. It's not a story. We don't need someone to tell us what happened in the property, but it's already a data like that. And the result is so far in the last 2 weeks, we can see from the chart, basically we are monitoring the check-in rating, cleanliness rating, and also accuracy rating. It's so far showing an increase. So we are looking forward to maintain these improvements in the following next months, basically. And what can we do next is we can start integrating different tools into Butler for something other than quality control team. The next one is the guest prioritization dispatch channel. This is basically intelligently detect urgent messages from guests that needs swift action from our HR team. Currently has been tested with Marcel and Bisma. So this is basically telling us which message is urgent or not urgent, which one is request or question or information, which one is positive or negative sentiment, and related to what topic. Is it transportation? Is it check-in, arrival, and other kind of messages? So we are looking forward for the accuracy of this information. If it's really, really good, we can scale this up and everyone can just work from here instead of looking at the message one by one. And the third one actually is we call it double dash channel on Slack. So double dash channel is basically automated feed with assigned PIC responsible to inspect the feed for a true negative indicator. So previously our automated feed on Slack doesn't have any owner, right? So it's just a feed. We don't know what to do with that, what happened when something goes wrong. Now they have a PIC. Basically at the top of the channel, like this, the one that's open, there's a review complaints PIC ARA. So if there's something wrong with the reviews, and then we know who to contact about that review. So these double dash channels are indicated with the 2 dash in front of the channel name. So like that, guest prioritization dispatch, that dash guest prioritization dispatch. You can subscribe or join the channel if you want to see the content of each channel. That's for me. The next one is from Nadia.
Okay, thank you, Mas Bayu. So over to Nadia, this one.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So this is actually the update from Bivigo for partners side. So we have a new feature, which is adding a new walk-in booking and also an avatar score on Bivigo. So on the latest update on 1.11.0, we have a new feature where our partners can now input a walk-in guest booking directly, and it will be recorded on our system. Also, we have the user picture is now showing their hospitality score as well. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kanadia. That's all, guys, for the weekly mission inspiration. Thank you, Kak Tendi, Mas Bayu, and Kanadia, and also Kak Shelin. And next up, over to Kara about the company, team target, and achievements.
Okay, so since we are have limited times, let's cut the chase. Yeah. So to my inspection first for this week, I have couple of it. So maybe I won't recite the actionable because everyone needs just to be aware of, but I'll recite the problems and inspections topics for this week. The first one is MBKM third batch selection process. This is, I would say, myself concerning. I'm the one that is doing it because we have hundreds of candidates coming in for MBKM internships program right now, and we have very limited time to process it and limited resource to also process the candidate coming in. Currently, me myself do the ARM method has been actively applied for this one. So I want please Mas Gani, Mas Bayu, Jing, Mbak Lilis to take a look at the actionable. Yeah. The second part, partnerships and guest sentiments. This one needs to be improved. I talked myself to Mbak Lilis yesterday. I talked about what the current status and what is the planning for the sentiments part because Mbak Lilis is leading it right now. There has been miscommunication and misunderstanding between our internal teams with partners and guests in responding towards delicate cases. Currently, BI team is analyzing further about the partners and guest sentiments in the company. So to Mbak Lilis, Bella, and Jessica, along with Marsa and Kala, please read the actionable later on. The next one for PM review evaluations. I remember I made this with PD earlier with also advice by Mr. Jing. So related to the importance of guest sentiments that I'm going to report below, we've created a tools to review individual performance, especially area performance. It's currently being reviewed every Friday led by Kayla, but with no documentations by far. So to Kayla and Mas Bayu and also Tendi, please read the actionable for this topic. The next one for partners awareness and recognitions. This is also need to be improved. I've been also working on this previously with Andy and Giselle. So we have deployed the warnings and consequences when there are cases in which we need to relocate or refund the guest according to property quality to reduce complaints and enhance guest experience. However, we haven't fully recognized partners when they are doing good. So when the inspection show no risk or low risk. So to Furkon and Kayla, please take a look at the actionable. The last part for 3R refund, relocate, rewards, decisions. This also needs to be improved. For the last couple of weeks, we have tried to optimize the scheduling system by integrating the GES, hosting, and content team as much as possible to help make the 3R decision easier. However, we still need to figure out a way on how to make a relocate and refund decisions much faster, especially for the properties with no positive transformations. So to Kayla and Marcel, please take a look at the actionable on this one. The target is remaining the same, and Mr. Jing also already gave us the progress on that part. So for the listen deeper part this week, we are going to take a closer look on the importance of getting to know each partner's sentiment, as I mentioned earlier, in order to engage better with them. We are also going to see a step-by-step overview of how the BI team engage with our partners and aim to gain their trust. I'd like to say thank you to Mbak Lilis, Bella, and also Jessica to gather this and have a discussions with me around this scope. So the first one, knowing each partner's sentiment is without a doubt, very beneficial prior to interactions with them. In this case, the partner sentiment we want to discover is beyond positive, negative, or neutral. In order to classify, we need to first gather data on each partners and record each case of partners engagement to create knowledge management. The goal is to know what each partner's likes and how their characteristics are like in order to cater better to their needs. The second one, two different partners asking the same questions. Each of them may be seeking for a different answers. This depends on their characteristics and sentiments. This is why it is important to know your audience beforehand to avoid turning a positive or neutral sentiment into a negative one. In the BI partner engagement team, we have 7 good steps in order to have a successful outbound communications with our partners both ways. So first, self-introduction is very key and delivering our purpose of the engagement for any chapter for anyone that is involved. Second, deliver the first parts of our content. The third one, once the partner's questions comes, we address their concerns confidently. Fourth, further discovery of current practice implemented by partners. 5, educate our partners with intelligence. Let them know our thoughts and give them good understanding. 6, setting expectations to our partners. This is an important step. And 7, once we received a positive response from their side, we know we have gained our partners' trust. Do not forget to do a follow-up with the last agreement you had after the agreed time frame. Okay, so that's a little bit context for everyone to understand how we listen to the partner sentiments for this week and in the future. The achievement part, the last part, revenue achievement, we have achieved a total 321,000 USD for the January. This achievement is around 95%. And however, the good news is that we have achieved our February starting revenue target. It was set for 139,000, but we are surpassed that to 155,000 USD now. Our 4th week sales this month has not been great, as the trend always proves in previous months where weekly sales declines during the last week outside the considerations of any special events. Still, instantly booked reservations have played the bigger role in support of our weekly sales, with contributions in the inquiry side lowering down in the past week and the RTB side showing to fluctuate more. Quality of ratings, the recap for January week 1st and the last week, I think so far is going good. As you guys can see, it's dropping in the 2nd week, but by the result of the end of the month is actually improving very well. From 68 in the early of month, now we're on 75% in total for 5-star ratings, and in overall ratings almost remain the same from the early of the month. So the past 2 weeks have shown great result, both sides. And to break down, you guys can also see for accuracy, check-in, cleanliness, communications, locations, and value-wise. Okay, so to conclude my report, we have not achieved the last week because we see the downtrend for the sales itself. Our week 3rd target was 39,000 USD, and we're on 63% to actually achieve that. Yes, that's pretty much the update on my side. Back to you, moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kara. Thank you for reporting the company team target and achievement. Next up, we have core value recognitions. First, over to okay, we have several. Please take notes for your time. Offer first to Felix. Sorry, to Kalilis.
Thank you, Kayla. So I'd like to recognize Felix as well as the team actually for coordinating the company migration from Talkit to Bat24. As everyone know, this might be very frustrating for everyone in every aspect in the company. But Felix and also the team, which is Mas Bayu, Mas Kani, Wei, and then Bella and Marcel, I guess, are trying really hard to make it work. So this is very challenging for everybody here. So I would like to get help from everyone here to support them, whether there's overbooking and anything else. Please be patient and let's face this challenge together. That's for Felix. Congrats, and also the team. Let's continue until our expiration of the kit, which is March, if I'm not mistaken. And next one is for Cinta. Thank you very much for creating insightful dashboard on Data Vista that will help the pricing team that understand faster about the insights of the property in one dashboard, and very quick response on detecting new data, including qualitative and quantitative data that help us dig deeper on the condition of each property. So congrats, Cinta, for being so agile with any kind of improvement that is suggested from my side and the other side of the company. And thank you also for Mr. Jing for giving me inspiration on improving the dashboard. That's it. Back to Kayla.
Okay, thank you, Kali. So next one is from my side. This is to Mas Mario. So for everyone, we had unexpected situations last week on Omakirana, which the property's electricity and water were suddenly cut off almost in the middle of the night. Mas Mario, fortunately, was monitoring situations, and since there was no on-site staff, he stepped up on his toes and took care of the whole mess himself. Actually, this is not ideal situation, and it's pretty much dangerous because it was pretty far from where he stayed. Still, I want to let everyone know that we have a dedicated GS team alongside Bli Ketut, Kacindra, and Katendi, who always try their best to enhance guest experience. So thank you, Mas Mario. Okay, mantap. Next one, this is to Mr. Jin. We have 2 recognitions. Over to you, sir.
Okay, I wanted to recognize Bayu. Yesterday, Bayu jumped in while we were having a legal negotiation with Krishna from Bird Hills. It was absolutely delightful because we're sitting with Krishna's notary but Bayou comes in and he offered a clutch solution. So it helped me realize a few things. A good partner is open-minded. Respect a good partner when you find one. Hopefully we can do more business with a good partner. A good colleague is hard to find, and it's important to have in any endeavor. Bayou and I have been together for many years, spending time to solve deep problems together. And a good strategy solves operational issues for years ahead, but it's often quickly forgotten after it's been implemented. So I think it should be recognized at the point it's actually done.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next up, this is for Katendi from you. Also, Mr. Jing. Okay, Mr. Jing.
Okay, actually, let me go over to Sarah. Sarah, tell everybody what Tendi did.
Okay, yes. So this is when Kak Tendi was handling the guest in Belle Isle. So me and Mr. Jing was there to observe while Kak Tendi was, like video calling us and approaching the guests. So basically, the story is that maybe some of you have already know. The guests were disappointed since there is a road construction which caused the guest vehicle to not be able to go in, and the guests had to walk to the villa. The issue was that the guest, whose name is Sarah, Sarah was already in a disadvantage because she's a mother with a baby and is experiencing random, like specific pain in her body. So we tried to contact her through phone and chat, but she didn't pick up, and she explained that she needs time actually. But then the hero arrives, Kak Tendi. He came to Villa Belle Isle and personally meet the guest to apologize and check on how she was doing because she was experiencing pain. And also Kak Tendi conversed and kind of like reconciliate with the guest, and he even managed to like high five her baby. So that was also a warm moment for me to witness. And so Kak Tendi, after that, he also told the guest that he will give the housekeeping number of Belle Isle to keep check the guest because she needs some help with obviously with how she was experiencing pain and all that. So I think the main takeaway is from this case and story is that most guests will really feel much better when we make them feel that we are there for them. Or even like what Kak Tendi did, he actually came to the guest. So it's just, in my opinion, basic principles of communication and interaction actually, but it really is the heart of hospitality.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you everyone for your recognitions, and for the people who's being recognized. Thank you for the good work and keep on inspiring. Okay, everyone, since we have our time, I'm just going to pass the personal update and go straight to the announcement by Kashelin. If you may, please spare another 1 minute for this one. Okay, over to Kashelin.
Okay, thank you guys. So there's actually quite a few announcements, yeah. So the first one is actually the dropout of few of our onboarded employees and interns. So previously, I believe I have announced that we have Lucas as well as Hamida joining the team. So I'm here to announce that both of them has decided to drop out, basically ending their employment with Bukit Vista. So yeah, in case you're wondering like where did they go the past few days? So yeah, this is where they went basically. So just a heads up to everyone on this one. And the second announcement is actually an update on payroll. So we do payrolls on every 5th, right? And coincidentally, this coming 5th is actually falls on a Sunday. So do expect a slight delay on the payroll, yeah, guys. So usually we do it, we have it completed before lunch break, right? So since it's a weekend, do expect a little bit delayed payment, but by the end of the day, by 6 p.m. we thought all payment should be done by then. So yeah, just to set expectations for everyone, yeah, for this one. And last but not least, quick announcement aja for this one. So today actually like marks someone's life milestone, yeah. So, okay, udah ketawa ya orangnya ya. So, okay, yeah, basically today is Kayla's birthday. Birthday yang keberapa, Kai? I forget.
73. Thank you, Kak Shelin.
Okay, 23rd ya. Yay! I know you can do that on Gmeet. So, we can do that on Gmeet, guys. Yay! Okay, so
Happy
Kayla.
birthday!
Woo! Our moderator for today, and all the best. Yeah, I'm not sure what to wish you by now, but I hope you like the gift, the monitor. Technically, it's not a gift, but
Yeah.
hope you like it. And yeah, once again, happy birthday, Kai, and back to you for like the closing of the all hands.
Okay, thank you, Kak Shelin. Thank you, everyone. Okay, that's all for the All Hands today. Thank you for joining, and I hope everyone has a good time today. Keep inspiring deal, everyone. If you have a feedback, please, no worries, just put it down on the All Hands feedback sessions. Thank you.
All right, have a great week ahead, everyone. Inspire to life.
What?
Thank you everyone. Happy birthday, Kayla.
Thank you, Kak.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Happy birthday, sis, once again.